You know, the more I've thought about it, especially after watching the movie, the more I've come to terms with the fact that while I liked The Last Jedi as a film, I hated it as a Star Wars film. I need to make that very weird distinction because as a movie, as a piece of entertainment, as something to watch, it was actually very enjoyable. It was visually stunning. It was entertaining. It kept me engaged. But as a Star Wars movie, the more I think about it in the canon of Star Wars, in the terms and the lore of Star Wars, the more upset I get about how terrible it was. And I think this is largely in part due to The Force Awakens, and that film I just absolutely hated in general. Now, there's two big reasons why I hate that film, and I'll get to those in a second. But I believe it's because of the foothold that The Force Awakens set, that it just made any film following it impossible to be good in a Star Wars sense. The Last Jedi did more than I was expecting and was good in a general movie sense, which is impressive, honestly. But my expectations were incredibly low going into this because of The Force Awakens and how much I hated that movie. Now, why did I hate that one? Well, there's two big reasons. The first one, and this is sort of a personal bias thing, I hate J.J. Abrams. I don't hate him as a person. I hate him as a director. I hate his stuff. Uh, the way that he films is bad, but also the ideas and the mentalities of his films. He basically just takes whatever was popular and redoes it in his own style, sometimes shot for shot. He has admitted to doing this. This is his bread and butter that he does. He does this because, well, he didn't like that thing when he was growing up, so he wanted to make it in a way that he could like. There's a reason that as a fan, I like the things I like as they were, and the changes I find rather insufferable. And this was the same with Star Trek. I didn't think the movies got good until another director took them over. And this was the same with The Force Awakens. I found the movie just abysmal in large part because of Abrams' directing philosophy. And then the second thing, and I think that this was a product of Abrams, but I'm not sure. But this just made the movie horrible for me. In the movie was Rey. I can't stand her. I really cannot. I have tried. I have given her every benefit that I can, and I cannot tolerate watching her. That's one of the reasons I think The Last Jedi was better, actually, is because so much less of it focused on Rey. There were more characters, more story arcs, a lot of different places and things happening, and Rey was one of them rather than the main focus. I cannot like Rey. She is just so painful to watch. The actress that portrays her just can't act. And then, even if she could, which she was better in The Last Jedi, again, credit where it's due, the character is just unlikable. I don't get how people like Rey as a character. She is a Mary Sue. She really is. She is as Mary Sue as I have ever seen any character be in anything. I've had people argue with me that say no, that she's not, or that Luke was just as bad. He was as much of a Gary Stu as Rey was a Mary Sue. And I asked them, did you watch the original Star Wars movies? Because Luke initially was a bumbling idiot who took years of training to become halfway as good as Rey is at any point. Rey, she sees something, up, she's a master of it. She has never fought with a lightsaber, up, she beats uh, she beats the villain. She beats Luke. She beat fucking Luke in a duel. Granted, it wasn't with lightsabers, it was with staffs and sticks, but the idea that she could beat Luke, after never being trained, by the way, is ridiculous. I can understand her beating Kylo Ren to a small degree because he was injured, but then she beat him again because of course she did. But beating Luke is just so out there considering how long he has trained for, how powerful he is. I can hear the justification now, oh, he had given up on the Force so he was weaker. Even then, for as many years as he had trained, she had no right to beat him. There is no logical way that you can justify her beating Luke. And I mean, even at the end, again, spoilers, but I'm talking spoilers here and there. I'm pretty sure this has even been shown in the trailers. She picks up what amounts to a fucking cliffside. Luke couldn't do that. Luke had trouble picking up a ship from a swamp. And I'm supposed to believe that without any kind of training, without any kind of knowledge, in maybe a month's time, she has enough connection to the Force to be able to pick up a fucking cliffside. What in the goddamn hell? And she is not as bad as Luke was. But then the other thing that I've heard as for why I don't like Rey is, oh, well, obviously I don't like her because she's a woman. Riddle me this. If I don't like Rey because she's a woman, why is it that my favorite character in any Star Wars property is Kreia from the Old Republic 2? Explain that one to me. Let me. Because she was well written. She was very deep, very philosophical. I really connected with her as a character. I thought the writing with her and her design as a character was fantastic. I loved her as a character, and I haven't found another character in another property since that I have liked as much. In many ways, she reminded me of Jaheira from Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2. And Jaheira was my second favorite character in that. I'm going on a nerd tangent here. It's between Abrams and Rey why I just do not like this new series. And I think that if this was an original movie as opposed to a Star Wars movie, I would have loved this movie. But as it stands, because it's a Star Wars movie and because I kept thinking, this doesn't seem right, that doesn't seem right, this is off, how the fuck is this possible in the canon? These thoughts kept going into my head. And I wasn't over super hyped about this. I had low expectations because of Force Awakens. And I left feeling that those expectations had actually been surpassed because I enjoyed the movie in general. But it's never a good thing when I have to justify I liked it as a movie but hated it as a Star Wars movie. So I think that Disney really needs to either A, change things up, or B, just make an original series and stop using the Star Wars license with it. It can be done. The framework is there. It is possible to do this. They can do this. They have in the past. But then they wouldn't be making billions upon billions of dollars. Now, would they? And that's what this is. It feels like it's just been shoved in and it's a cash grab. And the characters and the lore be damned. We're going to use the Star Wars name. And then Abrams is set to be back writing and directing Episode 9. Shoot me now. It's going to be pain. Let me know what your thoughts were, because I find that I'm something of an oddity in this, and I want to hear from other people about how they felt about this movie, why they liked it, why they disliked it, why they like Rey as a character, that one in particular. If you like Rey, tell me why. Please help me understand this. I need to know. Anyway, this has been Math Machine, just giving my 2 cents about Star Wars and not liking that it's Star Wars. Peace out.